Hey guys, so today we're doing our Sword and Shield market update for the booster boxes and cards, July 2024 edition, starting off with Sword and Shield base set. It does seem like this box is moving up. TCG Player has it around $300. Most recent sale unopened July 10th, $345. Not a ton of info outside of that, but $350 most recent sale is nothing to scoff at. Rebel Clash, not too much on TCG Player. Lowest listed on eBay right now is $300 Canadian, which is about $220 USD. Darkness Ablaze, this one surprisingly has been moving up over the past couple months. So back in May, it was around $135, $136. We're now sitting above $150. Most recent sales, July 10th and July 13th, $153 essentially on both of those boxes. Vivid Voltage, this one as well has been slowly moving up. TCG Player has it about 138. Most recent sales would agree with that. July 13th, which was yesterday, lots of sales, 138, 130, and 138 again. Definitely on the rise. A couple months ago, it was low 130s. Battle Styles, this box has been going flat after it sold out. Obviously, it had that big move, and it's been sitting around that mid 130s point. Most recent sales, July 12th, 120. July 13th, yesterday, 130, 150, and then today, the 14th, 125. 50. Next up, we have Chilling Reign. This box has been moving down. It was up to around $130. Now we're trading around 127, or excuse me, 117, 120-ish range. July 13th, yesterday, $200 sale. Today, the 14th, $218.90 and $219.60. So fairly close to $220, I would say right now. Evolving Skies next up. This box TCG Player had at 706. It's now down apparently to the 680, 682-ish range. But if you look at most recent sales, 708, 710, and 710. So this box is in reality trading over $700 quite frequently. Next up, we have Fusion Strike. This box has been, going up and down in this range over the past couple months. 243, TCG Player has it. Most recent sales, however, from yesterday, lots of them. 238 basically. So, between 230, 240 Fusion Strike. Again, not surprising, a lot of these boxes aren't moving up and down. They're kind of just in this range right now. Brilliant Stars has seen a little bit of a pullback from, around the 190s down to around 180 most recent sales from yesterday, and today 181 exactly. Next up, Astral Radiance. The graph doesn't show us too much. Most recent sales, July 13th, yesterday 172.69. 172.70 and 157.71. If we look at more recent sales, 172.70, 172.70. So, low 170s on Astral Radiance right now. Lost Origin has seen a pullback as well. This box was up to over $220 at one point, now below 200. Most recent sales, 196.27, 170, 196.27. If we look at more boxes, 185, 200, 168.97, 200, 200, 200. So, between that 180 to 200 range, probably closer to 190, 195. And then finally, Silver Tempest. This box hasn't really dropped off too much. It was up to around 167. TCG Player now has it around 164. But most recent sales are 170 essentially on the dot. And that's been fairly consistent over the past week or so. Silver Tempest, again, still in stock on the Pokemon Center only Sword and Shield box remaining there. Before we look at the cards, guys, just want to jump in here and say 68% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel still. So if you're getting value out of this content, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe. Moving on to look at some of the cards, we'll start with the Chonkachu from Vivid Voltage. Like most of the cards in Sword and Shield we're going to look at, a lot of these cards have seen a bit of a pullback. This card was up to about $130. It's now, low 120s. Most recent sales, 125, 125 essentially, and then 110. That's from July 7th, 10th, and 11th. Next up, we have the Sleepy Tyranitar. This one has fallen off a bit as well from 190 to around 170. Most recent sales, July 8th, $130, July 9th, $157, and then July 10th, $160. Then we have the Blaziken. Again, a lot of these cards have seen big dips. The Blaziken was over $400 at one point, now down to around $340. Most recent sales from today, there was one. $334.89. That was a Nearman Hollow. Before that, July 10th, same thing, $334.90. Before that, we had $334.90 as well on the 8th, $305.22 on the 6th, and then $271 on the 6th as well. But that was a light played, not near mint. So, around that 300 to 330 range still. Really good on the Blaziken. The Moltres has seen a drop off as well from the 180s down to the 150s. And most recent sales, 120 actually was a near mint today. July 11th, a near mint for 136. So that one's definitely falling as well. The Shadow Rider Caloric, surprisingly, TCG Player Graph has it actually rising up into the 1-teens. And most recent sales, 100 near mint, 89 near mint, 96 near mint, 127.48 near mint, 130 near mint on the 3rd of July, 122.54, 90, 97, $77. Those were light played. 138 near mint, 125 near mint. So this card is, holding surprisingly strong over $100. Next up, the Umbreon VMAX, obviously the most expensive card in all of Sword and Shield. The Umbreon, this card was basically $1,000 at one point. We're now down to around, the mid 800s. Most recent sales in near mint holofoil, $800. That was yesterday. On the 11th, there was one for $900. Before then, there was one for $700, $750, $875, $750. So there is quite a range, but it is somewhere between that $800 and $900 range still, with some sales below that. The Rayquaza VMAX has seen a bit of a pullback as well, but not a huge one. This is, I believe, the second most expensive card in Sword and Shield now. Most recent sales near mid holofoil, $370, $384, $375, $455. That was July 4th. July 3rd, same thing, $449 essentially. And then a couple days before that, back in June, $449. So it does seem over the past couple weeks, these cards are selling for a bit less, to be expected. And again, next month, it'll be interesting to see where a lot of these cards are going to land. But I don't think they're going to drop off too much more. Maybe a select few will, but I think a lot of these are going to retain a fair amount of their value. The Gengar next up, it was over $400 at one point. Excuse me, most recent sales, a TCG Player has it around $307. Most recent sales, $330, but this may be a Japanese one. No, just the normal Gengar. So $330, hard played, heavily played rather, $180. Another near mint, $380, $325, $310, $302, $302, $325 as well. These are all from July 9th until, so basically in the last week. So it is, between that $309, $305 up to around $330 mark. So the Gengar still holding a fair amount of value, but definitely off from its high a month ago, or 2 months ago, rather, back in May. The Charizard from Brilliant Stars, this was almost a $200 card. We're now back to around the mid 150s. Most recent sales, $154.95, $155.04. Light played, $129. Near mint again, $157. Another $157. $190, interesting, on July 10th. And then $148, $150, $25. So, closer to that $150, $160 mark. Then we have the Machamp from Astral Radiance. This one has held a lot of value as well, surprisingly. It was up to around $190, now still about $156. Most recent near mint holofoil sales, July 13th, yesterday at $125, $139.99 on the 10th, $125, $135. So, it is probably closer to $135 at this point, even though TCG Player has it at $156, maybe $140 depending on the day. Giratina, this one lost a lot of value as well. It was up over $480. I believe there was sales for over $500 as well on different platforms. Most recent sales, $399, $415, $380, $380, $380. So really consistently in that $380, $390 range. And then finally, we'll have the Lugia V from Silver Tempest. This card's kind of been all over the place, but was up to almost $230. Most recent sales, $190, $192, $190, $183, $190, $190, $190. So $190 card, I think it's fair to say it's lost about 10-15% since its high a couple months ago. Like most of these alt art cards, I was just trying to think if there's anything else that I kind of wanted to point out. I think some of the big takeaways this month, Darkness Ablaze is actually one of the only boxes on the move upwards. A lot of these other boxes, Astral Radiance is kind of trading sideways, but a lot of these boxes, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest as well is kind of going sideways, but Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Fusion Strike has kind of been all over the place. Evolving Skies has gone, up and down as well. A lot of these boxes are going up and down. Vivid Voltage, I guess, is slowly climbing, but I do think Darkness Ablaze, the big winner this month. A lot of these cards, keep your eye on them. I think a lot of them may still lose a couple more percentage points, but I don't think we're going to see a really big correction over the next month or so. I think a lot of the damage has been done, and these are going to be kind of where prices settle. That's just my opinion, guys. This is going to be your Sword and Shield update for July 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.